Welcome back to the Hero's Table, where every story is served with heart and every guest brings their own flavor of courage. Today, we're talking with Karen from LearnMojo. So I'd like to say first a big thank you to Roundboy Roasters. Oh, yes, we'll take the cookies. Yes, this is the perfect time to give us the cookies. We want to say a big thanks to Roundboy Roasters. They have some of the best coffee in town. They're letting us use the space for the podcast. They're here in Jalan Merah? Bukit Merah area. Yeah, so if you're in Bukit Merah area, I'll put the link to the address and you can Google map it and everything. But for anybody who's interested, please come down here and support them because we're very thankful that we have the space to do this. Karen, can I ask you, what do you think of the coffee? You're a coffee lover.
It's good. It's good.
Okay.
It's smooth.
It's smooth, okay.
Yeah.
So for the coffee lovers out there, I think that means something important.
It's one of the better ones that I've tasted.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. One of the better ones. So please do come down and support. So, Karen, thank you for joining us today on the Heroes Table.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you. I think that there's a lot of good things to talk about. First, would you mind just giving us a quick 1-minute pitch about yourself? Like, you're in the elevator.
Okay.
What are you going to say?
I'm a mom of 2 teens, and I started my company, LearnMojo, back in 2014. What we do is we help very busy Singapore teens to get a breakthrough in the humanities. We're very exam-focused, and we're not apologetic about it. But the way we do it is slightly different because we help them to do it without long and draggy lessons.
That's good.
Through a proven online coaching system.
So when you were in MOE, what were you teaching?
I was in a secondary school for about 7 to 8 years, and I taught history and social studies.
Okay.
And I was supposed to teach English as well, because English is my main curriculum subject when I was back in NIE.
Okay.
Yeah, but my head of department rescued me.
Rescued you? What do you mean?
From the horrendous marking load that would have resulted from this combination.
So being a teacher, was this something that you had always had a passion toward, or was it something that you more so just kind of stumbled into?
More of the second one.
Second one.
Yeah, because I graduated in the midst of the .com recession.
Oh,
so you can guess how old I am.
You're in the same decade as us.
Oh, decade.
Let's put it that
yes.
way, okay?
Luckily, it starts with an 8.
Yeah, we both are in the 1980s.
Yes, 80s kids. So anyways, I graduated in that kind of environment whereby it was really difficult to find a permanent job because really it's just that jobs were scarce at that time. So I tried a couple of other jobs before I came into teaching. So one of it was tech sales. Can you believe it?
Tech sales?
Yes, tech sales.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And
what tech were you selling?
Basically corporate broadband and systems integration solutions.
Okay.
I was there for like maybe 1 or 2 years, and then became a personal assistant to art conservator.
Okay.
Very, very niche field, very interesting.
Yeah, that's very niche.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, what do I do with my life? Quarter life crisis. So I decided to try teaching because it was a stable job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And somehow it turns out that I have a little bit of affinity for it.
Okay. So then you have affinity for the job itself, like you enjoy the teaching. Do you have an affinity for kids?
Surprisingly, yes. That was unexpected. I never really felt myself to be someone who liked kids a lot.
Okay.
But in the process of interacting with teens in my job, I realized that they're actually very amazing individuals.
Yes.
And they all have very unique personalities and talents and gifts. And also they need support in other areas.
Correct.
So that bit was always the most rewarding part, and still is, of teaching.
So you stayed there for 6 to 7 years, right?
It was about 7+ years.
7+ years. By the time you were nearing the end of that, what was going on in your mind?
I was just really tired and quite burnt out.
Okay.
Because teaching is really quite a full-on job, especially if you're doing it in a school setting.
Yes.
As humanities teachers, we would be given quite a heavy load because sometimes we'll be teaching almost the entire level of students. That would mean seeing at my peak, I was seeing like 9 classes a week.
Wow. Okay.
And every time I give an assignment to the students, I would have about 200+ scripts to mark. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it took a toll over over the years.
Okay.
And I started to ask if there's, and I'm also quite a curious person. I like to learn new things.
Sure.
So I started to ask if there was anything else out there that, I could learn and do.
Kind of pivot to that still incorporates the skills you have.
Yeah.
Circling back, you were saying that it was just you were feeling burnt out. Is it that you felt the way the grading and all of this is set up? Because it's, to me, a whole lot of things that go into it. It's not only the grading that is time consuming, and it feels like it's unsustainable in the long term. And the other thing being that I think when you're working with kids, there's also that emotional aspect. You're working with people and you're giving and receiving emotion.
Yeah.
But there's that's going out of you. And I'm sure being a teacher as well, there's that physical component where you're standing up all day.
Yes.
Right? For most of the day.
Yes.
Okay.
Even when I was pregnant with my kids, I was carrying laptops and scripts and walking upstairs. It was a good workout.
Yes.
I was quite fit then.
I see.
Yeah. You're right to say it's a total package because there's a lot of outputting and giving in being a teacher. And it was not just the marking or the teaching, but also the admin. I think recently there's been a lot of online chatter about the workload. And then also I felt like I was spending so much energy on other people's children.
Yes.
And then my own children were preschool then. And I remember there was one day he was playing with his little teddy bear that he would hug to bed every night, right? And then he was telling his teddy bear, I can't play with you because I have marking to do.
He said
I was
that
like,
to the teddy bear.
Yes, I caught him saying that to the teddy bear. And I was like, oh, Priang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought maybe it's time I really re-examine the way I work and be with my children.
With all of this, how did LearnMojo, where did it initially start? Like, what was the seed that came to you, the idea? Was there something that you read, something you saw, or is it just a dream you had and came to you?
No, it was not a dream.
Vision on high.
I started to see there were online course creators as well. I read Tim Ferriss's The 4-Hour Workweek. For a lot of us, it's like the starting, like the mind opener. Okay, this could be possible. Being able to be location independent, do good work, as well as be there for our family. So it started to germinate this idea that perhaps I could do something online that could help people and provide for my family, and I can be there for my kids.
I see.
And then when I thought about what I can do, well, my skill set is basically teaching, and I like working with teams and parents as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought just experiment, see if online teaching would work. So with this hypothesis, I actually went and experimented with a pilot group of like maybe 5 students.
Teaching humanities.
Online.
Online, okay.
And making the lessons really short and compact, like half an hour. I was thinking, would that work? And it worked, and slowly we grew step by step from there. I wanted to validate my idea before I started doing it. I went to Council Parents, which was where a lot of parents hung out back then. And I scrolled through those threads that were about the humanities and trying to get a sense of what the common pain points were. And started replying to some of the questions and the posts, and some of the parents private messaged me, and I was telling them, would you be interested to try this new format of coaching out? It's not the same as tuition, but your child will improve if he or she puts in the work.
Interesting.
So we got started from there, and from there I gradually refined the whole coaching system.
When you offered those initial trial tests, were they like discounted or anything?
They were not exactly discounted, but very low price.
Okay.
So I remember, I think it was like below $100 a month.
Okay.
Yeah, and the parents are like, hey, this is an ex-MWay teacher, I've got nothing to lose here, right? So, okay, try, And amazingly, all 5 of my first batch are my little guinea pigs.
Little guinea pigs.
They all got A's. I think it was when failing or borderline pass.
Really?
And we did that with just half an hour call per week.
Were each of them individualized calls?
They were one-to-one calls when we started.
Okay.
Yeah, so I realized, the 80-20 rule, the Pareto's law.
Yes.
It's the 20% of the activities that generate 80% of the results.
Right.
So when I tried to unpack the whole teaching and learning process,
Yeah.
major part of the output is in actually doing the questions.
Yes.
You can sit in hours and hours of lectures and lessons and not perform well in the exams.
Correct.
Because, the kids do have to take the exams.
Correct.
There's no shying away. And so I realized that the way to help them really move the needle was to get them to do the practices.
Yeah.
Find out what the mistakes and the gaps are. Then they'll be more interested in finding out what is it that I'm missing here.
Yes.
And they know exactly what they have to. Actually, after teaching, I didn't start LearnMojo immediately. I went into healthcare, which is a totally different pivot. I can only join the dots like now, many years later.
Sure.
So back then, it was just trying to swim, trying not to drown, because I came from a non-healthcare background. I was working with all these doctors and clinicians and really, really capable and talented people.
Sure.
So I was just trying desperately to learn as much as I can.
Absolutely.
And because I was under the CEO's office, so I was deployed to put in place certain processes and structures. I think I learned a lot of, probably the most important one will be leadership lessons from my bosses, how they led the people under their charge, how they took care of them.
Sure.
But at the same time, also challenge them to do better.
Right.
Yeah, that was, I think, the most important takeaway for me. And
Did you start building LearnMojo while you were actually working there?
it actually happened on the side while I was at the hospital. I don't know what drove me to do that. It's crazy.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
It's
like you
insane.
had kids. It's inspired action, but you had kids, and then at the same time, you have a full-time job as well.
Yeah, I think I was just so curious about this online business thing. I was really curious.
Okay.
And I thought that if this could take off, then if I can be there for my kids
Right.
and be able to put food on the table,
Yes.
that would be so good.
Okay.
I just embarked on it as an experiment in a way and see where it takes me. I mean, if it doesn't work out, then it's okay, I
Right.
still have this hospital job that I love so much.
I see.
I was like working on LearnMojo at night after work, after the kids have gone to bed.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes until about 1 a.m. And then next morning would go back to work. And so that went on for about 1.5 years until I quit my hospital job to work on LearnMojo full time.
So how old were your kids then when you started LearnMojo, and when you actually left to go
okay.
focus on it for a time?
When I started LearnMojo, my boy was 7, my girl was 5. But I had a really good helper back then, live-in helper, and she was a really very good support. So you can imagine, I wouldn't have been able to do that if she wasn't there to help me take care of the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was still a challenge. I think only after then it sinks in how difficult it was. But at that time, I didn't feel it was so tough because to me, it's just something that I have to do.
And you just get it done.
Just get it done.
When you went to work on LearnMojo primarily, had you already established a good client base that could support you?
I'm very risk-averse.
Sure.
A lot of people think that people who start businesses are risk takers, but actually,
Skydivers.
yeah, but I made sure to hedge my risks.
Okay.
So I made sure that I could consistently earn an equivalent income to my day job before I took the plunge.
I'm curious to know too, when you decided I'm actually going to do this full time, did you feel confident, or was it a little timid, or maybe a mixture of both?
Mixed feeling. It took me a long time to mentally and emotionally accept my decision.
Okay.
You must imagine I've been a civil servant and always been working for other people. This is someone with no biz experience. Totally zero.
But that's why I'm happy to have you on here. It's wonderful to show, like, you can, no matter where you are, what your background is, if you have the idea and the initiative.
I think I would say if there's anyone out there who wants to start their own thing, it's always a good idea to validate it. And do it when the stakes are lower, so that the pressure on you is a lot lower.
These mixed feelings, the mental and emotional, what was the mental part?
The mental part is, can I make it on my own? Because when you're working in an organization, actually, as an employee, I was really quite sheltered. Every month, there's someone depositing money into my account. HR is taken care of, benefits, there's leave, there's MC, whatever, there's bonus. When you're on your own, everything is basically just you. You eat what you kill.
I have two questions. One would be, was there ever a moment where you finally felt this is going to be okay? And was there anything that triggered that? Or even if you're still at this point where it's like, what's going to happen next month? That's fair enough too, because I think us business owners, we feel that.
Yeah.
That's the first part. The next would be about naysayers, but we can get to that one. I'll launch this first one.
Okay, when did I feel that this is going to be okay? Honestly, I think there's a little part of me that always feels that when's the other shoe going to drop?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can relate.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're never sure if whatever so-called success that you've achieved so far, will it last
long term? Correct.
And I'm always amazed how far we have survived 11 years now. I never really felt this is going to work, but it's more of what's the next step that I can take next that would serve my teachers, my teammates, as well as the parents and students that I work with best. Yeah. So I always try to because if I think about these big questions, I think it's not going to be very productive.
No, it's not.
So I just think about what can I do next that would help the people around me. And that's what has kept us going so far.
Did you have any naysayers when you decided to take the plunge?
Oddly, actually, very, very few. There were a few people who looked at me blankly, like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Yeah, I did share about the idea with one or two friends, and they were supportive. And actually, mostly, I didn't say too much about it.
Okay.
And I'm glad I didn't. I just went ahead and did it.
Yeah, that's good.
So there were some questions like, history and SS, got people want tuition for history and SS, man? Then I was like, I don't know, let's find out.
I like that you just did it without telling so many people and talking about it, because I do feel that a lot of times we get talked out of things if we tell too many.
Yes.
And you can't expect everybody else to have these visions.
Yeah.
And when you're moving forward and you just want to execute on the idea, a lot of times it feels like it's just better to just execute and do, because then you'll show them later.
Agree, totally agree. I mean, these people are well-intentioned, I believe.
Correct.
They don't want you to go through pain.
Right,
or hardship.
Not
everyone can understand what is it that we have in our head that we really, really need to pursue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you feel that any of this humanities learning was something that helped you in your business in particular? Like, there are things that you can link now, and it's like, well, because I have this background or because I can see things in this way, maybe it helped me.
Certainly. Because in the study of the humanities, we look at perspectives, different perspectives. It's not cut and dry. Like math, this is the solution. You may have different ways of getting to the solution, but there's one solution.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For humanities, we look at what's the data, what's the sources of information, and then we teach students how to form their own opinions, supported with evidence, and to take a stand, really, on certain important things. So that actually helps a lot, because when you run a small business, you will have many stakeholders. They all have their own motivations and interests and perspectives. So that helps you to understand where they come from.
The best answer I could have gotten. Thank you. No, that is like the best. Like, just hearing it in that way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I have this sense that humanities has seemed kind of like, nah.
I know, right?
You've got these stakeholders. Any business you have, and you have to know that there are different perspectives.
Yes, certainly.
And especially, I can imagine it extends into running the business, too.
Yeah. I think in any kind of position where you are leading, whether in an official capacity or not an official capacity, all these little skills, the ability to see perspectives and understand perspectives and bring everyone together, it always helps. And if you ask me, Humanities is always neglected, literature as well. Really, they're the most important disciplines to get someone through life.
Then what's your take now on the way that you see society going, especially with kids playing more on smartphones, tablets, video games, and even we're seeing across the world libraries are shutting down.
Sad. Yes. It could go two ways, and it's a double-edged sword. Yeah. So technology is amazing in that it's been an amazing equalizer of opportunities. I think that's an amazing thing because you could be 13 years old and be a content creator and be earning, or you could run an online business when you're in high school and be earning millions of dollars.
You could.
In e-com or whatever.
Yes.
We've seen a lot of these.
Yeah, we've seen
kids coming out. So it's amazing opportunities that are out there that didn't used to be there. But at the same time also, there's so much of information out there that it's no longer like verified in a way. So we do need to teach the kids how to be able to understand which are reliable sources of information and which are not really so reliable.
I heard you mention that you felt reading was one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
If you don't mind expanding on it a little bit.
I think it's really hard to quantify the impact of the love of literature. It's the kind of thing that seeps into your entire being and the way you live life, in a way. If you ask me as perspective as a parent, I felt it was important that I convey that love of books to my children. The moment we brought them home from the hospital, after they were born, I started bedtime reading.
Wonderful.
Even as an infant, you know, you could be sleeping or like drinking our milk. I'll just be reading a little board book or whatever. And then it's not just a cognitive kind of building up, but also bonding between the parent and the child.
Yeah.
So important. Social emotional regulation. All these are baked into reading as well. Literature. I mean, literature helps you to explore human nature, how different people respond to different situations, right? When we look at character analysis.
Yes.
Thematic issues as well. What are the major issues facing society now? And many of the classics have themes that also resonate now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so if you want to learn to be a better human, literature. And not just non-fiction, fiction as well. Yeah.
I love that. It makes me really happy to hear that because sometimes it feels like it's dwindling. And people are
like a dying trait or something.
Yeah.
In art.
It feels like the Shel Silverstein's the Giving Tree. It built so much, gave so much. A lot of times my son will come to me and he'll watch a movie and be like, people were thinking about tablets back in the 80s. And I was like, it wasn't back in the 80s. The golden age of science fiction.
Yep.
We're talking 50s, 60s even. They were already writing this stuff. Where do you think the ideas came from? Literature. It was because we were allowing ourselves to join in this imaginative experience on just paper and ink, you know?
I wish more people loved books and writing. Even if there was a book that I picked up that didn't resonate with me, I still appreciate the effort that the author put in.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
To put it in print.
Correct.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
I've never read a book that I was upset at the end, like wished that I had never read it.
Me neither.
I've read some that were terrible and they were just atrocious. But the thing was, I would leave and I'd be like, okay, I can see what they were trying to do, and that kernel I can take and put in my pocket.
Yeah.
Everything else was crap. Or it's like I can even see what not to do when writing. Those kinds of things. When you see something that's badly written, you're like, why does it feel that way? And you think more, and you say it's not very human, that people didn't act naturally. And it brings up the question of, then what is natural human interaction? Because obviously you recognize something, and that strengthens that. Because I believe it goes back to what you were saying, where it is, you have to read people's different perspectives, you have to know what they're talking about, you have to know what they're probably thinking, all of that.
I think reading really helps with that. For example, when I'm reading a novel, if a character rubs me the wrong way, then I'll be asking, hey, what is it about this character that is eliciting all this resistance? And maybe it's something about my own, something that I can work on myself, or something that I'm seeing being reflected around me.
Absolutely.
It's really fun. It's fun. Yeah.
It's fun, it is.
Yeah.
So when you first began and first started, how did you determine pricing of your classes, what your business model was going to be? Like, how is this thing going to be structured? Marketing? How are people going to find out about this? And anything
okay.
admin too, like scheduling.
How to make it work, right? Yeah. So I think the first fundamental thing I tried to nail down was our positioning. Yes,
okay.
positioning is really important because when you look at the market out there, what are some of the gaps that are not filled yet? I went in from that perspective. There was a clear gap for humanities. So the moment I was able to validate that there was demand, then that was when I started thinking about the pricing. And so in terms of service structure, I think we're somewhere between one-to-one tuition. So right now we don't have one-to-one coaching anymore. It's all done in groups.
Okay.
We're somewhere between one-to-one, very highly personalized academic support to the big group classes, the ones that you see in many major tuition centers. So we sit somewhere in between for students who are extremely busy. They don't have time for another tuition classes because humanities is always the last subject they would ask help for. It's always math, language, science first. So the schedule is already pretty much booked up by the time they come up to us. Yeah. Based on these constraints or perimeters, then I started to design our service structure and working on what's the remaining time that the child has. Yeah. So we went with at first 30 minutes a week when it was one-to-one, and now with our group format, it's about 1 hour a week. And with our lower sec course, it's even less, but they're able to still get very good outcomes.
That's great.
Yeah, and so service structure is based on the constraints that we see. Pricing was, I would say we fine-tuned it as we go. So I kind of worked backwards from the income that I would like to have per month. And then I broke it down by, how many students I need to get, and then how much then I need to charge, blah, blah, blah. And over time, of course, it's also evolved.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Certainly.
And then for marketing, I honestly, even up to today, I feel like I'm not doing good enough at marketing. But in the early days before your wife helped me with the website, it was just an email newsletter form.
Oh, I see.
And somehow people still find us. I don't know how.
Oh, okay. Word of mouth then.
I guess. And then after your wife came to help me do out the website, that was, I think, in 2016. Somehow our page performed well in terms of organic search.
That's great.
We're always like the top 5.
And for marketing, you just started your Instagram this year too, right?
I would say I'm trying to improve in terms of our socials. So we already do have a small following on Facebook.
That's good.
And we have an email list. And I just got started with Instagram. So just tinkering around, seeing where it would lead.
Good luck.
Yeah.
You can do it. Go do some dancing, get some cats.
Learning from y'all also,
Okay, watch my content. Yeah.
Yes.
See what I'm doing.
Yes, follow John.
A lot of nonsense. So did you ever face resistance when you first started because it's online? And I know that there can be that sort of tug of parents not wanting to go online.
We were pretty selective about parents we work with.
Oh, okay.
Just from the tone of voice on our website, there's sort of like a qualification process there.
Oh, okay.
Already.
Okay.
So parents who really, really need that in-person support for their children would just not come for us.
Okay, sure.
So those that actually contact us are parents who are already open to the idea of online coaching. I think I've been really blessed in that even from the first batch, the parents that I've worked with are very progressive in their mindset. They were very open to experimentation.
That's good.
Also that they trusted us. So thank you so much for the support. Yeah.
That's good.
They wouldn't come to us in the first place if they resisted online teaching.
So when did you actually start expanding your team? Compared to when it's just you, what does it look like now?
So the expansion, I took on my first tutor somewhere around 2017 or 2018. So previously I was just so low,
Yeah.
right? And my capacity is limited because I only have so many time blocks,
Yeah.
time slots.
You only got 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and I have kids. I actually felt bad for the parents and the students I had to put on wait list. So I started to ask around on Facebook, actually, because I have many ex-colleagues. We connect on Facebook. I just put a call out. Anybody wants to teach history or social studies online, just contact me. And then my friend contacted me, and then I brought her on as our first tutor. And so it started gradually kind of like snowballing from there.
Okay.
So today we have 5 teachers, including myself.
Okay.
It's going to be 6 now.
Wow.
They're all really insanely talented people and very interesting people.
That's good.
So for me, you not only have to be technically excellent as a teacher, but also there's a certain energy frequency there and vibe there
Yeah.
that needs to be suitable. Because I think you had a question about how online teaching is different from in person.
Correct.
Because energy does get transmitted online as well, but it's more muted as compared to in-person teaching. So the gold standard is that I have the child in front of me and there's this, interaction going on, but we don't have that luxury teaching online. So the teacher needs to be someone who is highly empathetic and who is able to transmit that kind of positive energy to the learners.
So what's something behind the scenes that people don't normally see in this business that can be a bit tricky, difficult?
I don't get that so often these few years, but in the earlier days, there were parents who asked, you're teaching online and it's only 1 hour a week, so you should give me a discount.
Oh, really?
Or maybe you should charge less than the tuition centers that do physical classes. The thing that some parents may not see is that in order for online teaching to be really effective, there's a lot of background work that we do, a lot of preparation. Just like when you generate content, right?
Yeah.
There's so much prep, then there's so much post-production as well. So a lot of the work actually carries on outside of the lesson that maybe most people may not be aware of. And then not to mention the years of training that and experience each teacher comes with. To be able to diagnose a student's needs online with that limited window of interaction, you need to be a certain level and to facilitate the discussion.
Yeah.
Facilitation is always harder than direct instruction.
Yeah.
Right. And feedback. When you give someone feedback, it's a different part of the brain that we're using as compared to when we are just giving a lecture. It's higher level. So these are the hidden aspects. But I think we are very fortunate in that the parents we work with see that we do put in a lot of hard work behind the scenes.
As you're expanding now, do you find that there's anything in particular that's a real bottleneck to that? You are! It's her. I knew it was Karen. I was like, I think I know the answer to this one.
When I poll my friends who run their own small businesses, and even the big ones, the founder is commonly the bottleneck because it's an ongoing process, work in progress to be able to hand off your duties to the other members of the team, to delegate and to outsource it. So because my time is so limited, my energy as well, so I have to be very selective what I take on. And in fact, I was just telling Kay that I'm removing myself from teaching classes for a while.
Okay.
So that I can work on the business.
Interesting.
And take care of the teachers better.
That's great.
So I would say I'm the bottleneck.
I appreciate that vulnerability and that honesty because most of the businesses I've ever seen where there is a bottleneck, a lot of times it's just either not a willingness to expand or not a knowing how to expand. Maybe in your case where it's just kind of gradually letting go of something that is your baby, So in your tuition, do you have any neurodivergent kids that you teach and how do they take to the online learning?
Yes, we do have a few. We do have teens who have ADHD.
Okay.
We've also had students who are on the autism spectrum as well.
Okay.
But I have to say that these students we work with have very, very strong family support.
That's good.
Parents are already getting intervention for them,
Okay.
And the conditions they have, I would say it's milder. We do make certain adjustments for each of the learners.
Okay.
So for example, if we're working with a team that has ADHD, then we will have to take special care to make sure that instructions are visual and not just verbal.
Okay.
And to make sure that the tasks that we give them are broken down into small, mini portions that they can manage. In a group setting, it can be the teacher actually giving a little bit more attention or time for the learner to absorb certain instructions and to carry out certain instructions. They need a bit more time to, say, get started on a writing assignment.
Okay.
We give them the space.
Okay.
And then if they can't finish that particular assignment, because in the coaching calls, the students actually are doing corrections, they would have come in with work that they have completed before the lesson, and then the lesson is for our teachers to actually give them feedback on how they can tweak their answers. So they may need a little bit more time, and then we'll just tell those that can't finish, okay, you can, either I wait for you another 10 minutes or you can complete the rest in your own time. Just drop me a text when you're done and I'll check for you. So we make little adjustments, and so far I think it's been working out quite okay.
That's great.
And also, I mean, there are times where we see that, for example, for a student that has ADHD diagnosed, if we see that the attention has flagged, then we may actually introduce a certain different activity. Or if we have certain observations about patterns of behavior, we'll communicate.
Okay.
And then sometimes it may come up that, maybe the effect of the medication is wearing off at this certain time. Or maybe he just needs to have a snack before class. So
That can help.
things like that, yeah.
So I had a video that I did, and it was about my son's struggle being neurodivergent, especially in MOE system.
Yeah.
And the thing that surprised me the most was that I saw a lot of comments from a lot of parents, and they were saying things about how they just felt that there wasn't as much support, it was a lot of difficulty, there's just a big struggle on a daily basis, and they're just feeling, some of them were feeling a bit helpless. I don't know if you still keep up with MOE and what their practices are, and maybe what it was like when you first started, or if you know if there's any change or difference now that you see.
It's really gotten better now.
Okay.
Quite a bit better. There's a lot more support as compared to when I was in school, teaching in school.
Okay.
They're increasing the number of allied educators
Okay.
who support students with special education needs.
Sure.
But I'll say we still have a ways to go, because going by the feedback that you've gotten on that video, it's still a very pressing need.
Yeah.
So I would say Ministry of Education has done a lot, but I would say they cannot stop here.
They cannot stop here. They've just reached base camp, right?
I'm not sure if we've reached base
Not
camp
even
yet.
base camp, okay.
But
We've just started the trail.
Impressive improvement. Please, 加油.
Yeah, Jelio. We've gotten out of the car park, okay? We're going on the trail.
I do keep in touch with my friends who are still teaching in the schools, and they do share that they have taken steps to educate themselves. These are individual educators.
Okay.
They try to read up more or take courses on how to support kids with neurodivergence. So I would say many of the teachers themselves see the need, because they're seeing more students diagnosed with such needs in their own classes, the mainstream schools.
Okay.
So they really, really want to do their best to
Yeah.
support these children. But I think sometimes they may need a bit of help. So for example, it could be like having someone in the class, a second teacher in class, to perhaps give a little bit more support to these group of students. Yeah. So what I know is like the allied educators are in certain classes, but I don't think they're in every class yet.
Okay.
And I was just looking up some stats before today. The number of students who are diagnosed with special education needs.
Yeah.
They could range between 7 to 17%.
Wow. That's
So
high.
you can imagine if we crunch the math, how many AEDs do we have in the system right now? It's about 2,000.
Yeah.
I think as of 2021. Maybe more now. But is that enough?
It sounds to me like a lot of these teachers are being proactive to really educate themselves, and that could take their time, maybe even their money. But does MOE have anything that you've heard of where it's like some supports or materials, education, programs that can help better equip these teachers who are key to learn?
I'm not sure about right now, but
Okay.
when I was teaching in school, the school leaders did arrange for a training session or talk
Okay.
about how to support students with ADHD.
Sure.
But it was just one session.
Oh,
So,
it's just
I
a set.
mean, so before we teach in the schools, we would have to go through NIE. When we're doing our diploma in NIE, there's usually one module that says that it's about child psychology. I'm not too sure if we have changed the syllabus in NIE now to also include special needs. I would be happy to hear that if they did. So perhaps if some of your followers are educators, you can enlighten us.
Yeah, if anybody knows,
Yeah.
please do enlighten us. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
What are some steps that could be taken then to better support, not only the teachers, but the students with neurodivergence as well?
I wouldn't say it's easy because I think logistically it may not be easy. But I think the simplest solution is to have smaller classes
Smaller class?
because this will benefit not just students with neurodivergence, but also neurotypical students. Everybody benefits. Teachers also benefit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So when I was in school, I taught in classes of up to 46 students.
It's like a lecture hall.
It is, yeah. So, Kay is
Hands
shaking
off
her head.
camera. So how has working independently changed the way you see the strengths and potential weaknesses of the MOE system?
In terms of strengths, I think our education system is really rigorous. It's not crazy to the point whereby we see a lot of pressure, like in Korea or China or Japan. But there is that rigor that is necessary. And I think the structure that's given to students, it actually gets them to a certain baseline level, and that's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can use whatever certs they have in the different pathways that have been created to help students progress along in their academic journey, no matter where they start. I think that's excellent.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of systemic support
Okay.
towards helping as many young people as possible.
Yeah, I think so.
What's different as an independent teacher or practitioner is that I have the creativity and the space to really tailor my approaches to the students that I work with. And then, of course, I get to choose. That's a major plus. I get to choose the families I work with.
So is that one of the criterias for when you hire to make sure that your teachers know and are equipped to be able to handle neurodivergence?
It's not necessarily a criteria for me.
Okay.
What I look for is, number one, the willingness to empathize with students. I think that in itself accounts for a lot, because when they have that, then when they pick up on certain behaviors on the part of the student, whether the parent has shared with us whether there's special needs or not, they're able to pinpoint and they're able to then adjust accordingly.
Yeah.
I don't have it as a specific hiring requirement, but it's kind of like baked into the way I assess a candidate.
Okay. Did you find that there was any difference in how the neurodivergent students responded to your MOE lessons compared to how they maybe respond to your lessons now on the online setting? How you facilitate it?
I think it's a bit hard to compare because when we're teaching in MOE schools, it's a much bigger class size.
Yeah.
Whereas here we're doing it in groups, and the amount of leeway we have to respond or to pick up on these responses is really quite different.
I see.
So when I was teaching in MOE, sometimes it could be down to trying to manage the class.
Okay.
And then the academics part, sometimes we have to kind of put that aside.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes it could be behavior management. So for
Okay.
example, if a kid really needs to walk around and maybe he's disrupting his friends or her friends. And then we need to manage that.
Yeah.
Right. And then at the same time, make sure that the other kids waiting for us, they don't sort of waste their time.
Correct.
So it's all of these other things in the mix. And the way they respond also depends on how the educator, how the teacher is creating that kind of tone, or say boundaries in the class as well. So it varies. And we can have the same student but respond differently in different teachers' classes.
Yes.
We've seen that happen.
I see.
Yeah. Whereas for online, they're really attentive.
Okay.
I would say. Yeah, even with our kids who have ADHD,
Okay.
they really, really try their best because they know that the time they get with the coach is limited.
Yeah.
And they come in actually wanting to do better.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
good.
So it's a very different setting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
think that's a fair answer. Do you find that there's any difference in how students learn now compared to your time in Hawaii?
I think not much differences because learning is really about how the brain works.
Yes.
Right. It's neuroscience. How we pick up, process, retain, retrieve, recall. All these things kind of stay the same. It's just that I do notice that attention spans have been getting shorter over the years.
Okay.
And the point about reading that we were talking about earlier, I find that our students from the earlier batches were more willing to read dense pieces of text, whereas now we find ourselves having to kind of chunk up readings a little bit more.
Interesting. What do you find that students struggle with most when it comes to humanities?
Wow, I could take 2 days to answer this question.
That's part 3 and 4 of the podcast.
We will have to camp here.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that the topmost struggle that I see that students come to us with is, I don't understand the source. So for history, there is this thing called source-based questions. Some students come to us saying that, I always misinterpret the source, or I misunderstand what the source is trying to say. Or when it comes to geography, they cannot interpret the data.
Okay.
So a lot of it is around information processing, and then the other one is also memorization. So
That's
there is
a tricky one.
There is a certain amount of memorization involved.
Correct.
Not just for humanities, but science as well as math, right?
Yes.
So anyone who tells you no need to memorize, they are bluffing you. Okay.
Yeah, they're bluffing you. Yeah, there's some of that goes into it.
Yes. So they will say that, I cannot remember anything.
How do you help them in that?
Firstly is in basically helping them to see that it's possible.
Okay.
That's the first step. It is possible.
There's a possibility.
You're not dumb. You're smart. You're smart. You have the capability to do it. You can do it. So it's just that perhaps we need to learn some techniques and put in some study habits to help you get that. And then we'll do that throughout our coaching process.
Do you have any stories of what's the most heartwarming thing either a parent has said to you or even a student?
So many. Yeah, so many.
Give me one.
I'll start with the most recent one. I have this student who has ADHD, and we've been working with him since last year. Unfortunately, had to retake his O-level this year.
Okay.
It's been a long journey, and he was really having issues or trouble with completing the exam paper because of his condition.
Okay.
Right. Mom was really very supportive. She went to get professional support and got him on medication and all that, and worked very closely with me because I only have that amount of time with him per week, and then the rest of the time would be her just making he does the assignment that I set for him. I think then O-levels just concluded, and then she texted me and said, he managed to finish the paper. He managed to finish the paper.
Really good.
And he felt so good about himself. It's a major victory for him. And the amazing thing about this student is that he never complained once, because there was once I had to make him redo an essay 5 times. The same question 5 times. To get from A to B. To get that length that he needs to write in the exam within the time limit. We had to do it 5 times. Never once complained. He just did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So, stories like that really inspire me as well. Because, if my students are trying this hard, then
Yeah.
I need to try harder.
What's your bigger visions for the future, especially for maybe even LearnMojo?
Actually, I'm not one to come up with 5-year plans
It's fair enough.
or
Yeah.
big visions.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm more of a take incremental steps
Okay.
to get better.
Then what's the next?
What's the next step? Next step is probably to basically get LearnMojo in front of more parents. I think that's probably my most important work.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we're glad to have you.
So I mean, I previously thought that marketing is smarmy and, spend a lot of time getting over that because
Yeah.
in the internet marketing world, we sometimes have not so good practitioners and then
No,
we have the good
I
ones. So
Understand.
yeah. Yes, they're more low profile in a way. I realized that actually it's my responsibility to get our team in front of the people who will need our services because the parents will come to me and say, I wish I learned of y'all earlier because they never heard of us before this.
Okay.
They didn't know we existed. I think recently you heard a story, they can't choose us if they don't know us, right?
That was on my stories last night.
Yeah, so that's a piece that I'm working on next.
Okay, if we had to tailor it and say, what advice would you give to somebody, like maybe based off of one thing that you could have done differently, let's say. What advice would you give to somebody who's starting out?
Just try. Probably that's the only advice. So a lot of times we let our fears or our mental limitations hold us back. So of course try, but at the same time make sure as long as it doesn't devastate the people around you. Sure, right? You're not harming anybody. Just try. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? And I think probably the other piece of advice is try to find people who are on that path to walk along with you. Because if you want to create your own thing, it can be a very lonely journey. So having friends who may not be in the exact same domain, but on that same growth journey is really helpful. Yes.
So I think it can be a very lonely journey.
It is, for sure.
And I saw this post where it was like, oh, I'm going to have a meeting with the marketing team, the admin team, the planning team or whatever it is. And it's like, oh, it's all me.
All me.
And
Yeah, I want to take leave.
So I want to take leave. I go talk to HR, which is me.
Talk to myself.
That one really got to me. That's it. Again, I thank you for taking your time to speak with us, to give some words of wisdom, because I think there's a lot of people out there that can really benefit from a lot of the things that you've said.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this chat. Actually, I have so many questions for you both as well.
Questions.
But we'll probably take so
Do we
long.
keep rolling? Just feel free.
Have you all tried the bakes before?
We tried the brownie.
Is it good?
That was really good.
Oh,
They put the butter on this banana bread.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I love butter.
It's like a bit of the kaya toast concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to try it? Yeah, we'll take away some. Feeding my wife off camera.
So sweet.
She's the most important person in all of these production,
Yeah,
all this
I
production.
bet.
So
So I better feed her well.
Yes.
And take good care of her. What?